Hello and welcome to the Jazz Violin Podcast, episode 6, and this time we are chatting with Daniel John Martin. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Schertler. If you don't know Schertler, they are a Swiss company that are all about the amplification of string instruments. So they do pickups, preamps and amplifiers. I've used a Schertler Stat V for the past 7 years, I think, and it is my favourite pickup out of everything that I've ever tried or heard. A lot of the time I would prefer to be playing acoustic or playing into a microphone like a DPA or something like that, but there are times when I really do need real amplification. You know, if I'm playing with a drummer or I'm playing in a loud environment, that's when the Stat V is the best option possible. So you know, you can crank it up to full volume without any real feedback issues and without losing the tone as well. You still keep this really nice, soft, smooth tone even at high volumes. Used to be that I would turn up to a sound check and have to like deal with about 10 minutes of sort of EQing and just like try to get rid of these horrible tones from some of these from the other pickup that I used to use. I'm not going to name which one, and that doesn't happen anymore now. He just sort of EQs it really quickly and then moves on to the next person, like the guitarist, and then I can sit and watch them have to deal with the problems I used to deal with. So no more feedback. Our guest today is Daniel John Martin. He is an English violinist who was brought up in South Africa and now lives in Paris. You can find Daniel playing with pretty much everybody on the Parisian jazz manouche scene. He runs the Aux Petit Joueurs jam, of which there are lots of videos online of Daniel playing with some of the best gypsy jazz and jazz manouche musicians in the world. He's recently recorded the new album with Romane, and we met up together in St Pancras station for just under an hour. It was a bit rushed, like a lot of my interviews are, but we had a really nice time chatting. And Daniel is a really interesting guy, and he's got lots of very interesting things to say about life and music in general. So, here we go. Is that recording? Yeah, it's recording.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I am 29. Yeah. How old are you?
I'm way old now. 50s.
50s. Looking good for 50s.
Yeah.
I was going to start by just asking you how you started playing music. That's how I do.
In South Africa.
Okay. So you were born in South Africa?
No, born here.
Ah.
In Congleton. Do you know Congleton? Just outside Manchester.
I don't know it, but I have heard the name. I've probably driven past it, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little town. So I was born down near Manchester, but I prefer going to Liverpool. I like Liverpool.
Right. Yeah. You know Mickey, don't you?
Yeah, he's a good mate.
Yeah.
I like the guy.
Yeah.
And Caldwell.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
very
but
nice guys.
Yeah.
Good friends of mine. I'm gonna have dinner with them tonight.
Oh, cool. Say hi from me So you started playing in
South Africa, and then came to Paris to the Parisian conservatoires. Started working with Didier.
Oh, okay.
And did a on-stet thing for him.
What's that?
Organised an 11-tet.
Right.
We toured about a year.
Yeah.
And then I went into hiding for a while.
Right.
And then...
Don't know.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're the same as me. I like to fiddle.
Fidget.
Yeah.
Then when I came out of that period, I went into the metro to study classical music again.
Ah, okay.
To get my techniques going on.
Right.
Better.
How old were you when you did that?
15 years ago.
Right.
And got a good classical technique and got into the jazz business again.
Right. Okay. So that sounds like that's quite a funny way of doing it. Not that I'm saying it's the wrong way, but a lot of the time people do classical studies and then they get into jazz. But do you do jazz before you did?
Oh no. But it's just that when I went into a period in life when I stopped everything.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff that can happen to you at any age. I was lucky enough for it to happen to me at an early age.
Okay.
And I had to get things sorted out and then see what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, had to. I was a talented guy, talented kid, so I never really worked.
Right.
Just got on with things without working.
When you say I've never really worked, so you never really had to, you didn't practice loads. Right.
I practiced when I first started. They had to hide the violin from me.
Right.
And then when they started, the grown-ups started planning other things for me. I wasn't quite happy with the violin anymore because it wasn't my game anymore. It was theirs. So,
oh right, yeah.
I stopped practicing, and it just people didn't ask more of me. So.
Right.
And then I met with rock. So when I was in high school, got into a rock band.
Yeah. Playing violin.
Then went to an American school. And I played guitar for a while because I thought maybe you'd get more girls with guitars.
Yeah, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
I think girls like violins, but
well, I suppose the nice ones do.
Yeah.
Nice people like violins.
Yeah.
And I'm too much in love with the violin. I'm in love with the violin as an instrument.
Yeah.
As I'm in love with its history, its manufacture.
Yeah.
Everything concerning the violin interests me.
Yeah.
I collect violins. I've got about 10 violins.
Mm-hmm.
And I sell some, and I buy.
Ah, dear.
And,
maybe you'll sell me one. I'm looking for one.
Oh yeah. And everything, I like Paganini. I practice Paganini a lot.
Yeah.
I love the story of the guy, about the guy, and well, of course, I met with Stefan Grappelli.
Yeah.
Every time he came to London, he would send me a card in Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was a nice man.
Where did you meet him?
Through I contacted him through he liked meeting up with the young jazz violinists.
Yeah.
And he thought, they would think of me, him and Joseph would think of me when they came to London. They got me into the Who's Who in Music here. They said,
right.
Oh, we put you in the Who, They were nice people.
Yeah.
Nice people.
Yeah.
lots of stories about the guy, but when it comes to the bottom line, they're very nice people.
Right. What do you mean by that?
People will say he's stingy and stuff, but yes, actually, they say Didier was stingy too.
Right.
Didier was always very. When I first met him, we would work together. He wouldn't get me to pay anything.
As in, when you were getting lessons with him?
Yeah. First, I met him to work with him.
Yeah.
And then created the festival together in Paris.
Okay.
And from then on, his production asked us to create the 11 track, which we did. The new record with that and tour with that.
Yeah.
There was a very sort of scholar feeling to that, and I'm not a scholar person. I wasn't very happy with touring with the band. It's like becoming a kid again, you know.
So you've got
the world isn't a very nice world when you're a kid, is it?
No.
It's a very...
Well, I guess there's like two sides of it. Well, for me, I know what you mean. When you're a kid, everything's a bit like serious, and you got to do what everyone says all the time.
Well, yeah, and there's sort of a competition between people.
Right. Yeah.
That's my thing. I'm not a. First of all, I'm not a touring person. I don't like touring.
Okay.
Up in a hotel room at night and my thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like to.
2 seconds. Let's just let this woman talk. There's not many of these over tannoys here.
I think it should sound nice.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks very much, man.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So, you're not a touring person. You don't like being.
Yeah, and I don't like being part of a group.
Okay. Okay. So you you don't like being in a constant thing.
Somewhere, for example, I don't go to somewhere. I've got too many musicians, too many people trying to show how badly they play.
I know what you mean. Somewhere can be a bit of a sort of like show-offy place, or a place to people go there thinking that they're gonna I'll show them. It's like, who are you gonna show, mate? Let's just calm down and have a play.
So then I do like musicians.
Yeah.
We don't make a fortune out of our business, but we do meet a lot of very nice people.
Yeah.
Apart from the odd pain in the ass.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Romane, who I was playing with Romane last night, he's one of the nicest persons I've worked with.
Right.
Then again, a lot of people say things about him, but he's such a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think as soon as anybody's like in any sort of public eye, especially like little world of jazz manouche, or whatever you want to call it. It's just jazz.
Acoustic jazz.
Yeah. As soon as people are in the public eye, everyone has like an opinion on them. Like, most
and
people.
Violin, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
As a general rule, you seem to be okay though.
You reckon? Well, I reckon I'm okay, but I'm trying to think if I agree with you. Violinists are a pain in the ass. I'm actually doing all these.
Well, we in conservatoires we were brought up to become killers, weren't we?
Killers. In what do you mean?
Well, when you have to stand up and play.
Yeah. Yeah, you got
play alone on the stage, and it's a mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
I played once in Théâtre des Champs-Élysées with Didier.
Yeah.
And there was this guy playing just after us called Alexander Markov.
Right.
He played the 24 Capriccios.
Right.
I shouldn't say this. The guy was taking substances to be able to
Right.
work like that. I mean, you have to be very, very strong to do that kind of stuff. Very strong. It's all right to do it at home.
But to be playing it on stage, you got to be...
And yeah, you know how he plays it. You know, he plays all the original bowings and
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess you've also got to have a certain confidence if you're going to, especially if you're trained to be like a soloist, you know.
well, it's a mindset you get in the business. I mean, when we go on stage as jazzmen, we know what we sort of. I don't want to say we know our business, but we're set in a way that we're. It's not a routine.
Yeah.
Our business is to break the routine.
Yeah.
We're comfortable with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose they've got their comforts.
Yeah.
But I admire that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. I guess as well with jazz, you get on stage and you're all sort of in it together, aren't you? And I guess like a classical mindset a lot of the time if you're a soloist.
There's a part of that phrase I didn't catch. We're in it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not all the time. I mean, sometimes you have to play with people that you don't appreciate.
Yeah.
That's a thing I've never done. You know.
Right.
I've always considered that there has to be sort of friendship or love or whatever.
Yeah.
To share music. But friends have taught me to go beyond that and play with people that you don't really appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, some musicians can be enjoy torturing their fellow musicians.
In what way?
One or two that I know of that I won't name.
Yeah.
When they go on stage, they go pick on one of the bands. So the whole band is there. I hope he doesn't pick on me. I hope he doesn't pick on me. And the guy has an awful evening.
What do you mean by pick on? Do you mean like
everything? Something goes wrong, it could be his fault, or you know.
Right.
It's the same stuff that happens in the world of whatever business you're in.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There are bullies everywhere.
yeah, and some that you might not suspect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose that's what I don't like about childhood is the bullying part.
Sure, I know what you mean. Bullying from other children.
But I must correct that. What I didn't like about childhood.
Didn't.
Although I must admit, we're all children until we die.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of ideas we had when we were 16, 17.
Yeah. Did you start violin young? Were you a child when you started?
I was 7. Started because we were visiting a local conservatoire in Johannesburg.
Uh-huh.
And I was there with friends of mine. Their parents took us there for them to choose an instrument. So I said, "Hey, look at that guy! I saw a guy playing a violin." I said, "I would take that." So the guy said, "Okay, I'll take up the violin." And came back to school one day with his violin and said to the class, "I'm going to show you what the violin is and make you hear some sounds, etc." So he pulled out the fiddle and started, blowing away. And I said, "Well, that's not what I heard. That's just, So then I asked my parents to get me a violin. Had the guy played beautifully well, I wouldn't have been interested, I suppose. It's just that he didn't play what I was expecting to hear. And I think that's what drives people to do music, is you've got something you want to hear.
I know what you mean, yeah, totally. I totally agree with you.
If somebody's already doing what you want to hear, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah. So do you find that that's something that stayed with you then? they constantly try to find
Yeah,
that thing?
I suppose so. Although we do have people we admire, and you must try and not do the same stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's bothering me about all this, all these schools and these camps where people, learn to play. People show them licks and they copy the licks and stuff. I'm not in for that.
No. Do you ever like take down somebody else's solo?
Actually, no. There's a guy, of course, one of my heroes is John Coltrane.
Yeah.
So I did work on his giant step solo. And the thing is trying to understand how it works. So when you pick up his solo, you realize that he's only playing the notes, basic notes of the chords and the basic notes. So, nothing complicated about it. You just have to get into it. When you get to Brecker, it's more complicated.
Over giant steps, you're talking about?
Over giant steps, yeah. And you realise that he's more into, he's a bit freer, more freer.
Yeah.
He's got more liberty.
Yeah.
He tries things in his way of working on cells and transposing cells, you know. So sometimes he just goes out in different manners, but you can sense he's experimenting. But he's got his system, so he knows what works. Yeah. And it's I like it. I think the post-Coltranean for me is Michael Brecker. Yeah. I really like his guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never actually taken down anything that he's done, but Michael Brecker was one of my intros into jazz. It was a lot of people, it was the Brecker brothers.
Steps Ahead and my first band, we took up a lot of Steps Ahead stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And, great musicians. Well, it's more interesting to listen to guys who don't play your instrument. Yeah. And there aren't many records of violinists that I really like. Yeah. There is one.
What's that?
When I heard it, I nearly started crying because it's so good. It's not the way I want the violin to be played, because I like the violin, so I like vibrato and I like the sound. Yeah. But
try to guess what you're going to say.
This guy wrote his solos, and he was a very good classical musician, but he was the first one to start playing, without any vibrato at all, even before Monty did that.
All right. I don't know who you're talking about then.
Let me just get his name again.
Is he
American? Harry Lukovsky.
Okay.
You know
Harry
him?
Lukovsky. Nope. I don't think I do.
For me, that is the...
I'm trying to think if I do, but I don't think I do.
If you obliterate the fact that he wrote his solos, all got phrases written for him by great jazz musicians.
Right.
He worked with all the jazz musicians. He was in the Los Angeles Symphony under what's his name, the great Italian conductor.
Okay.
And so he wouldn't drop that position to become a jazz violinist.
Okay.
So he continued working in this orchestra, but he did jazz sessions. And he did all the string sessions for the jazz musicians, so he got to know all of them. And they would write him down. Oh look, over this you can play this.
Right.
And
food scene.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, that looks good.
Cheers. No, I'm alright, thank you.
Should we pause this while you eat?
Oh, this is a dip in thing.
Looks like it. Looks good, to be honest. Jealous now.
Well, you can't have any.
Well, I don't want to steal
any. Fucking violinist.
like Rapelli. No, I don't want any. I don't want to steal your food.
No, but that's not a nice thing to say about him.
Oh, no.
What I was saying.
I know you're saying he
that.
wasn't. I was joking. I don't know anything about
It's like Paganini. They said he was stingy, and because he asked for so much money.
Yeah,
to play.
well, that's not how it is it?
He earned more than Michael Jackson in gold weight. Nobody's earned as much as he earned.
Yeah.
And I suppose he thought he deserved to be paid that much.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
So Harry Lukovsky did this record called Stringsville.
Okay.
It's a beautiful scene. Actually, he was the first one. That was the first record ever recorded to use a multi-band recording machine.
All right.
So he does re-recording on it. It's in 1958.
Jesus.
But as he said in an interview, he had only had one shot.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of one track going on to the other. What you call that in English?
One track going on to the other.
Yeah, you sing on to the other.
Is it bleed?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Bleed would work.
Oh yeah, so he could do it once.
Yeah, he couldn't overdub,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, because once he's recorded onto it once, then it's going to bleed onto the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
But that's let's listen to that strings though. Okay. He wrote all of his solos, so the record didn't get the attention it was calling for.
Right. I'll check that out. Yeah.
That's my favourite jazz violin record.
Right.
Got nothing to do with the way I play.
Yeah. Well, because he's quite
very,
dry in his approach to techniques. I see. Okay. Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You can see how Ponty was very much inspired by that.
Okay. Okay, I'll check that out.
So I'm going to do a masterclass, 2 masterclasses this time.
Yeah.
And so I don't give people licks.
Yeah.
I try to get them to hear what they are able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got a step-to-step process, getting from 0 to 1.
Okay. Is that heavy emphasis on sort of theory?
No.
No.
Of course, we use theory, but just the basic notions.
Mm-hmm.
Notes on I suppose it's learning how to listen to a jazz band, what to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Because many violinists, when they start out, tend to listen to the pianist or the guitarist and work on from there, which is a total mistake. You just listen to the bass player.
Yeah.
Because he's got everything, the rhythm and the harmony.
Yeah.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
So actually learning how to become a bass player to be able to improvise.
Yeah. It's interesting.
That's a short way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Well, yeah. Does make sense.
Because some of the pupils I had when I started teaching were coming to say, what happens in your head when you start playing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear it before you play it, or do you hear it as you play it, or where does it come from? So when someone asks you that sort of question, you have to think about it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So when you've got people who haven't got, and we've got no idea of what it is, you come to ask for lessons, you have to be able to work on that. And that was actually quite a chance, because I developed a method.
Yeah, okay.
Then I should work more often for myself, actually.
Yeah. That can happen, can't it? Because when you start to explain what you do, it makes you look at it differently, doesn't it? Because so much of it is just in your head and you never say it to anybody.
Well, you have to learn how to express the same idea in different ways for everyone to be able to understand.
Yeah. So, when was it that you first started trying to play jazz?
Well, from rock I went on to jazz.
Right.
And I went to a school that was sort of an offspring of the Berkeley School of Music in Paris. So,
what is that? What is it?
It's called American School of Modern Music.
Okay.
It isn't a very good school now.
No?
It's gone down now. But at first it was a very good school.
Okay.
And I'd learned all my theory about writing music and stuff from them. Met people, we had our first band, we didn't know how to play, but we knew how to get gigs.
Yeah. That's, one of the skills that people need.
Right.
You do quite a lot of organising, don't you? As in, like gig organising.
No.
That's the impression I had from you.
People often think I even own the place now, Aux Petit Joueurs. I'm just I gig there every week. That's all.
Okay. And I guess you book people for that.
Yeah, I just have my
right.
All my friends come and play.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a lot of friends.
Yeah. It's good. So you don't find yourself having to organise things very often then. That sort of like.
I organised this thing for DJ and the festival of French Jazz Violin Festival. That was when I was a kid. And from then on we organised the Eurostar. But I'm not no, I wouldn't say I'm an organiser.
Right.
I do things when they seem, a reasonable thing to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I do need people to be alongside me, can't do it on, you have to. I've got good ideas. Like everyone,
Yeah,
got
sure.
ideas, and the thing is to do them afterwards.
Yeah. That's true. That is everyone. Everyone has ideas, but it's the doing them.
So if you meet the right people,
Yeah.
can help you out with that. That's good.
Yeah. It's true though. I think you need. I always do. I need people. You can't do it on your own. You can't do this stuff on your own.
At one point, I wanted to start because I had this friend died after a brain stroke.
Okay.
Patrick Soussois.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah.
But we recorded here in London at Sylvia's place.
Oh really?
And just after that, he had his brain stroke, and I organised a thing to.
Are you enjoying your food?
Yeah, it's all right. Thank you. Can I have more bread, please? So I called his wife, asked her if she needed money. It's all right. It's a nice song. That's a train.
I thought it was someone playing a trumpet.
It's a choo-choo.
I thought it was a trumpet.
And she said, no, what you can do is organise something to get me help. And so I organised this thing, got her about €6,000. And that got me to think of organising something for the whole jazz community. So instead of getting a jazz, you got this thing in England, the Jazz Day.
Jazz Day. Oh yeah, International Jazz Day. Yeah.
Stupid idea. I would. Someone should pick up the idea and do it here in England.
Maybe I'll do it. You just got to tell me what it is.
I started organising a day in the year where all the jazz musicians would give their gig to our organisation, and the money would be kept or invested for the benefit of the jazz community.
Right.
And that would be once a year, and that organisation would be there to help jazz people, jazz musicians when one had an accident, or because we're a very interesting community, artistically speaking, but we do have sad stories that happen from time to time, so you have to be able to react. And I thought that would be a good way of reacting, so I got people, we started working on the idea, and then I realised that it would take me so much time that I wouldn't be able to do my job anymore, so I didn't do it. I might do it one day.
Yeah.
It's just what, imagine all the musicians, one day per year, you give the money you earn, instead of to the government tax, give it to your community, and they can pay for hospital fees or whatever.
Totally makes sense, yeah. It's a really good idea.
So, should do it in England.
Yeah. So you had the idea of doing it in Paris or in France?
Because it can even make benefit at one point.
Yeah.
You can buy apartments for people who are coming on tour. You can imagine doing a lot of things.
Yeah. That's a great idea. It's a little bit. I mean, there's a couple of things, there's like Help Musicians UK, but I mean that's not run by musicians. That's not any gigs. That's just I think that's just a charity. Probably has some funding. Probably has like a couple of benefactors, etc.
I haven't gotten to meet yet all these actors on the British scene. Thank you, sir. I'm still looking for a manager here.
Yeah.
Because Romane and I would like to tour more often here.
Yeah.
Play with local rhythmics.
Yeah.
Play our compositions with local guys. It's just that I'm not very good at finding that sort of stuff.
Getting
to meet people like touring managers and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know about that, to be honest, man. I'm not.
Yeah, but jazz people aren't very good with that.
Some people are actually. No, I mean some people are. I always they're usually the people who get a hard time from other jazz musicians. Jazz musicians don't like people who are good at that because they're not. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, jazz musicians don't like jazz musicians
who
are better touring agents than they are musicians.
Yeah.
They spend so much time doing that. They play like shit.
Yeah. See, there you go. Exactly. Not always.
Yeah, we've got a few of those in Paris too.
Yeah.
Good, these duck eggs.
Is it duck eggs? I like duck eggs.
I had a duck in Paris.
You had a duck?
Yeah, I was invited to play for my gypsy friends in a camp.
Yeah.
For Easter.
Right.
And they were giving out ducks and ducklings and little chicks to their kids.
Really? What? So they give
were all
you?
Dying because the gypsy kids weren't washing their hands. And they were coming. Oh, Dad, look, my chick is dead. Look, it's dying. So there was one duckling left, and I said to the kid, look, how much do you want for that duckling? And you know, they get into business at a very early age
Right.
with the gypsies. So he sold me his duckling. I took it back. I thought it was going to die overnight, but I wanted to keep for it to die in a warm atmosphere.
Yeah.
That duckling became a beautiful duck, and it lived in my apartment for three months. 3 times a bath 3 times a day.
Right.
It became a beautiful animal. It would follow us all around the apartment.
Yeah.
It would share the bowl of water with the dog.
Yeah.
At night it would get out of its cage and come into our bed,
Yeah.
restrain itself from shitting all over the bed.
Really?
Yeah. Except when we disappeared. If we disappeared from a room, splotch.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Animals, wonderful.
Yeah. I never thought to have a duck in my flat. I don't know if it would. I got carpets, man. I got carpets. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah.
Ducks are great animals.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've spent a lot of time with. I'll let this woman be quiet. Oh, yeah. What time is it?
It's all right.
You all right? Oh yeah. Well, let's just let this lady be quiet. It's not too much of this style. There's only been maybe one every half hour or something.
She's got a nice voice.
Well, I can't really hear what she's saying. You spent a lot of time with the gypsies around Paris then?
Yeah. And they come to my gig every Wednesday.
Yeah.
I bought a few instruments off them too.
Yeah.
I was wondering if
There's some, it's like everyone, you know, some very nice people, some less nice.
Sure, yeah. Well,
You
yeah.
have to choose the nice ones.
It's the same with everybody, isn't it? Absolutely. Is there quite a big gypsy community in Paris then?
Well, on the outskirts.
On the outskirts?
They can't camp inside.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
all around.
And do you find, well, do you know if gypsies have a hard time in France with French people?
Oh, yeah. Yes, but then they, I suppose it's what you have to pay for your liberty, you know.
Uh-huh.
They have to pay, you know, fines,
Right.
parking fines,
Right.
fines for breaking into certain grants they aren't supposed to be
Right.
selling on, you know. That's part of the being free, isn't it?
Right.
And it's important that somebody was doing that work, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, because if nobody was doing that, we would really be in a, you know, in a fixed society with nothing moving.
Mm-hmm.
At least the people, you know, people that break laws every day. No, I'm not talking about breaking the law, being murder. You know,
Yeah.
trying to extend the boundaries of freedom
Yeah.
every day. That's very interesting. And
Yeah.
we need to have that.
Yeah.
When you look at an anthill, you see all these ants working together, and then you see these jazz musicians. They're the ants that look a bit bonkers. We don't know what they're doing. They're on the side. They don't
Yeah.
work. And
Yeah.
they just fuck around. You know?
Yeah.
And then when somebody destructs the anthill, the ones that find the solutions for a new society are the ones
On the outskirts.
on the outskirts that were fucking around, you know.
Yeah.
The daydreamers.
Right.
And that's scientific.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to take your word for it. Well, actually, maybe I'll check it out. But yeah,
There's a
that's
book
cool.
written on ants called Les Fourmis,
Right.
the ants,
Right.
by a French guy called Weber.
Right.
And he does these novels where he mixes, you know, sort of thesis type of work with a novel.
Okay.
So you learn stacks of things on answer this way.
Okay. That sounds really interesting. This place is slowly filling up with businessmen on meetings. But we might be getting louder in the background. It doesn't matter. I don't think. People aren't talking too loud. They try to keep their business to themselves in case we steal it. What have you been working on recently then? Like projects that are
well, I was obviously on this record. I wrote all the music.
Talking about the record with Romane.
With Romane. I wrote the music thinking of him and our specific idiom when it comes to what they call manouche music.
We say what they call.
Well, what other people call manouche music.
And what you would call.
Even I call it. Manouche music when I'm someone else.
When you're someone else.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, it's jazz. I mean.
Yeah. You wouldn't say there's any difference between the style that.
Not today, no. I suppose, not today.
Yeah.
Kids today have got everything. So you pick a bit of everything, don't you, nowadays?
Yeah. My granddad's a jazz clarinetist.
Oh yeah.
And he, every time I see him, he says he quotes Louis Armstrong every time. It's like, I can't remember what's the quote. It's about folk music. It's all music. Someone asked him if he likes folk music, and he says all music's folk music. It's just music made by folk. My granddad says that every time I see him. But I agree with him.
Well, yeah. When you look into the great classical music,
yeah,
it's all the greatest works are based on folk music.
Yeah. I probably quoted that wrong, to be honest, but it's something like that. I think.
You call it what?
I said I think I've quoted him. I probably haven't said it verbatim there, but it's something like that. Yeah.
Beethoven said the greatest musician is the one who can be the greatest on the dominant chord.
Is that what he said? It's a bit of a jazz concept, that, to be honest. That's what we sort of spend most of our time doing, isn't it? That's interesting, because that is like pretty much the thing that gets jazz musicians excited, isn't it? It's just pissing about with the dominant chord and what you can do to that.
You're the most free to do what you want.
Yeah.
To explore.
Yeah. Right, we're pretty much.
Boundaries are exposed.
Yeah. We're pretty much boxed in now with people. There is no one here earlier. But it's still not too loud. I don't think the background noise is.
Well, English people are very quiet. If we were in France, we couldn't hear ourselves.
I don't know, man. You should. If you go out on a Friday night, Saturday night. You're about to go to Liverpool, aren't you? I don't know what. I don't know if that works.
I love the Liverpool noise.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's a great accent, isn't it?
On these videos, on these videos I put online, sometimes people say, how can people be shouting like that? They've got Robin Ford, the best blues guitar player in the world, playing.
Yeah.
And why the fuck are they talking like that?
Because they want it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's interesting, is no one's paying notice.
Yeah.
That's when the interesting things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you definitely play differently when no one gives a shit.
You play better when people are listening.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a way of saying. I don't care if people are not paying a certain form of respect to the music. That doesn't doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
If I can continue playing it. So.
Yeah.
But it's harder. I must say it's harder when people are not listening and you're working your ass off to get them to listen to you.
Yeah.
It can be more tiring.
But if that's the vibe in the place you're playing, I don't think that it works to get angry about it. You know, to turn up somewhere and get angry with everyone. It's like when people move next door to a music venue and complain about the noise. It's like, well, just don't move next.
They've been doing that a lot in Paris.
Yeah, well, it's pretty standard practice here. Everywhere is closing down for things like that. But no, I mean, on that side, I find musicians complain a lot, and it is annoying, like you said, when you're playing and everyone's talking over you. It's actually worse if you're in a gig that everyone's listening apart from one little group. That's the worst. That's the worst. But yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Might have to be off.
You gotta go.
Yeah, just to have time, you know. Just to
have
not
time to walk, yeah,
not
together.
have to run.
Yeah. I get you. Is there anything else that we could maybe ask you before we? No, I mean I've asked you what you're doing at the moment as well. You're thing at the moment.
You know, I do write string quartets. I'd like to write more of those.
Yeah.
I haven't written one for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've got this thing with planned with Robin Ford.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
That would be really cool, but I have to get the money.
Money.
For things to happen. No, it's not. Robin isn't the one asking. You know.
Yeah, sure. You have to.
So there you go. So I've got a few things on my mind.
Yeah.
Then we want to go to the States with Romane. We'll do a certain tour. We want to go on the UFO highway and stuff like that. You know, we're into UFOs.
Oh really? You're into UFOs?
Yeah.
As in you.
You're right, man.
You like looking up at the skies?
Yeah, well, you know, you can sense that things are happening more and more often.
Okay.
And if you're interested in, get yourself interested in that. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
How would one go about getting yourself interested?
See how many intelligent people have been telling these stories and how brilliant they are and how, you know, trained they were not to let themselves go to hysteria because they had to go up on the moon or stuff like that. And they've been seeing things and they say certain things and then they don't say them anymore from one point, but we still got trace of them saying things.
And because the other side is there's quite a lot of like super crazy people who think that.
But that's the part of the thing that decredibilizes the whole thing.
Okay.
It's crazy people.
Crazy people ruin stuff for everybody.
Yeah, well then we have to have crazy people. I mean, it's like the ants, hey?
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, these highly trained pilots. I mean, you know, you have to be a good mathematician. You have to be a very self-controlled person. They've been chasing stuff, and they tell you. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people tell you. If you look into it, since the Foo Fighters, when they were flying, when the Allies invaded Europe, regained Europe.
Yeah.
They called them the Foo Fighters. You know that?
No.
Well, when the Allies were flying over the Channel to bombard Germany, they were seeing these discs and they were calling them the Foo Fighters.
Right.
That's the first name of the UFO.
Right, okay. I see.
We've also got old paintings with UFOs on them, you know? Like a painting of the Madonna and the Child, and you've got a UFO in the sky with a pastor looking up in the sky.
Which painting are these?
Oh, one of Lippi's is like that.
Right. Okay.
I think it's even got a beam coming down on the ground. It's interesting.
Right. I mean, I've never been one to discount anything. It's not something I've looked into, you know, but it's not something that
I find it fascinating.
I haven't been drawn to that side of things myself, though. I do find I probably do err on the side of skepticism myself.
Well, we're going towards a form of acceptance of the quantum theory, quantic. And if we accept that, we come to the conclusion that in the multiverse there are so many universes.
Yeah.
That there's another universe somewhere, and that's scientific. This isn't.
Yeah. I know.
What do you call it? Statistics.
Yeah.
There's another universe where Matt and Daniel are sitting at the table and discussing and saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many universes.
Yeah.
You lose your head on this stuff.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it.
Thanks
for that, man.
Thanks for talking with me.
Thanks for talking with me. Thank you for listening to the Jazz Violin Podcast. I am Matt Holborn, and I've been chatting to Daniel John Martin. Thank you to Shirtler for sponsoring me. Have any more thank yous? No. But please subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We are pretty much everywhere now. Share us with your friends. Share us with your enemies. Share us really. I want to try and reach as many people as possible. You can send me an email if you're enjoying listening. You can send any emails about the podcast to mattholborn88@gmail.com. That's it. Goodbye.